We've got a full schedule on Thursday, almost completely full. 13 games are on. Let's preview those ones. Let's see what's in store for us with Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and you know what else is massive? I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Blue Sky, joshloyd.bsky.social, on Twitter at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Start the season with a big return on FanDuel. Get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Go to FanDuel.com to get started. Also, go to LockedOnDaily.com and sign up for the best newsletter for your favorite team. All the information about your team from around the old internet delivered smack bang to the middle of your inbox. 13 games are on. We don't have full injury reports for all teams at this stage. We will be getting them through the day, I'm guessing, but they haven't all come in at this point. But we're going to go through just the things we're watching for. Now, of course, with 13 games on, it's not really a streaming day, is it? Friday will be. Sunday will be, but Thursday's got 13, Saturday has 12, and Monday has 14 because, insane. That's how we're rolling. And of course, the Tuesday after that has 0 games on. That is Christmas Eve, where the NBA traditionally takes it off. I'm not going to take it off, though. I am going to put it on. Well, maybe I'm not. I'm just going to stay clothed as I am, but I'm going to talk about the games here on Thursday, traditional 7 p.m. Eastern start times for all of these games. That's not true. Not for all these games. For the first game of the day. And the first game of the day is the Utah Jazz going to Detroit to take on the Pistons. The Jazz, I would think if you are a Utah Jazz fan, and apologies if you are at the moment, that you'd be really disappointed with the crop of young players coming through because they've sent all their first round guys, or their draft picks from this season. Cody Williams, Isaiah Collier, and Kyle Filipowski have been sent to the G League. Taylor Hendricks from last season is out, so then we're dealing with Bryce Sensabaugh and Keontae George, so that's like 6 players from the last 2 drafts. That's not a good return, man. Like, Cody Williams is so bad that he just can't play. Collier's having some of the worst efficiency you've ever seen, and Filipowski looks okay, but man, it looks bad. Anyway, that's not really the point here. Detroit are 4-point favorites in this game. They're at home. They're very clearly at this stage a better team than the Jazz. In terms of schedule-wise, both teams play Thursday and Saturday this week on both the high-volume days. Next week, they have the identical schedule as well, Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Who is out? Well, I thought Svi Mykhailiuk, considering they called it a groin strain, would be up. Nope, he's questionable. I really don't think he plays, but he has been upgraded to questionable. I'm also going to assume that Isaiah Stewart is out. He hyperextended his knee the last time we saw the Pistons. He might play. We don't have any diagnosis on that, and they are pretty slow at giving that information, the Pistons, but we don't know that. We'll see. But yeah, at the moment, I'm going to say that Stewart is out. We've also got the thick hogsman Tobias Harris with the thumb sprain. They called it day to day, so I'd say it's almost a true 50-50 here. And then last game, there was a little bit of knee soreness from Jaden Ivey. I would say that he's on the probable side of questionable, but again, we need to wait and find out. What else are we looking for in this game? Well, Colin Sexton, to me, is not really a guy we hold on to in 12-team leagues. The role seems to be all over the place, even with a lack of players who are good. So that is something we watch. If he pushes back to 30 minutes, then we could jump back on the train again, but I don't think so. And then for the Pistons, it's, of course, Asar Thompson, who was great last game with Ivy out, but more importantly, with Tobias Harris out. So if Harris plays, does Asar go back and play 15 minutes? Does he stay at 26 minutes? I don't know. If you want to add Asar, I get the appeal, I get the excitement, but the role is going to be up in the air. In terms of stream guys in this game, you probably aren't going to be able to stream, but I'm just going to throw names out there for every game. Jordy Clarkson, Jordanclarkson. He's been pretty good the last 2 games and is really nullifying the impact of Colin Sexton. And then for the Pistons, yeah, it could be Asar Thompson, but the guy that you feel that his role is secure is Leaky Beasley. It doesn't matter if Malik Beasley starts or if he comes off the bench. You know you're going to get 25 plus minutes nearly every night, and he's got the upside of hitting 7 threes and scoring 25 points. It's not always going to happen, but honestly, more often than not this season, something good has happened, and that is not the Malik Beasley experience usually. The second game of the day, the Oklahoma City Thunder, fresh off losing In the NBA Cup final, they go on to take on our Orlando Magic. The Thunder are 6.5-point favorites here on the road. The Thunder have a back-to-back here, so they've got a weird schedule. They played Tuesday, no one else did apart from the Bucks. And they go Thursday, Friday, then they're done for the week. Next week, they have Monday, not playing on Christmas Day, which is clearly insane. Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday for their schedule next week. The Magic are a Thursday, Saturday this week, as nearly every team is. And then it's Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday the week after. Chet's going to be out. I'm going to guess that Pig Williams is out. That's tall Jalen Williams. Usman Jeng is going to be out. Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero are going to be out for the Magic. And we did get an update on Big Gaz Harris, who's been dealing with a hamstring issue for a couple of weeks. It does look like the Gaza might be able to return here. He's officially questionable. In terms of, what have I got? Colin Sexton and Asar Thompson there. My apologies. That's not what we're watching in this game. What I want to watch for the Thunder is not that this game's necessarily a big one, but Jalen Williams, we all love Jalen Williams. We know he's been awesome this season, but in games that tend to ramp up the intensity, his production's not as good. We saw this in the playoffs last season. We saw that, honestly, through the NBA Cup knockout games. He just sort of doesn't elevate. In fact, he goes backwards. So I do want to see, how he bounces back from those sort of issues, and he's been very good. But there's just little things I'm watching with Jalen. In terms of on the Magic side of things, well, it's realistically just what is going to happen with the replacements. One game it's Cole Anthony, one game it's Mr. Black, the other game it's Tristan da Silva and Mo Wagner. So we're watching to see whether Wagner, who's probably got the best chance of maintaining that value, how that all plays out. In terms of stream, guys, I am still going to go with the Hong Kong mattress, Cason Wallace, for the Thunder, even though there's a chance he doesn't start. What is interesting also with the Thunder is the minutes for Aaron Wiggins seem to be pushing down. So watch that, watch Joe, watch Wallace, and how that plays out. Well, for the Magic, there's a number of guys. Wendell Carter's available in leagues. He has been frustrating at times, obviously. Goga Bitadze sits at 38%, but according to Basketball Monster, he's 100% rostered. So you can go to him if he is available very clearly. Otherwise, you look at guys like Da Silva, or you look at Wagner, or you try Mr. Black. That was one of the worst Mr. Blacks I've ever done. Mr. Black! Cole Anthony, probably not. They look to be phasing him out again after a one-game sample size. The next game we take a look at is the Charlotte Hornets and the Washington Wizards. Schedule-wise, spread-wise, the Hornets are 3.5-point favorites here. The Hornets play Thursday, Friday, so that's the back-to-back, obviously, and then Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and the Wizards are Thursday, Saturday into Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Trae Mann's going to be out. I did not think that Brandon Miller was going to play, but they have officially listed him as questionable. He sprained his ankle. It looked pretty rough, that ankle sprain on Monday, I think it was. I don't think he's going to play, to be honest with you. The fact that he's labelled as questionable, and it is the first game of back-to-back, it would seem pretty dumb that he would play in this game, but that's where we're at. The other thing is that I put both Mark Williams and LaMelo Ball with questionable tags, because it is the first game of a back-to-back. And I'm going to assume, especially Mark Williams, that they're not going to play both games of the back-to-back. I guess LaMelo could, but I don't think Mark will. But they're not on the injury report. So that means that LaMelo and Mark are going to play on Thursday, which is, for our fantasy purposes, not the best strategy, or not the best outcome. That means Mark is almost definitely going to sit on Friday, meaning your Big Dick Nick Richards streams are applicable on Friday. Melo might sit Friday. He might play. I think he probably sits, but I don't know. So that is something for us to watch there. And then for the Wizards, well, I would have loved if we got a little bit more in terms of the updates on these players, but we don't. What we do know is Malcolm Brogdon, who I thought might be out a little bit more time, is actually questionable now. Keyshawn George was able to practice, so was Corey Kispert, and Kyle Kuzma, we don't know whether he plays. But of course, if all those four guys come back, well then, what happens with Justin Champagnie? That's going to be the question for the Passion Pop. Is he able to get out there and play 35 minutes? The answer is 100% no. But we need to see how that all stuff plays out. For the Hornets, I want to see what they do with Mark Williams. He's going to play. He's going to start. Do we push to 20? Where are we at with Marky? That's really key to me watching this. Yes, he needs to be rostered everywhere, and I'll see how far we push in this game. In terms of stream, guys, I think Cody Martin would be the stream if Brandon Miller misses, so just keep an eye on that. And then Bub Carrington probably, but he could also get completely drowned out. Same with Justin Champagnie if those four players, honestly, if even two of those four absent players are able to return. So it could be a real mess situation there for the Wizards in trying to determine where the value sits. We've got way more games to talk about. There's 10 more of them, which some might say is too many for us to talk about. We'll get back to that in a sec. Today's episode, though, is brought to you by Built Rewards. If you are a renter, you need to pay attention to this because Built Rewards is here to give you reward points. That's what their name is. It's rewards, right? So you get rewards on other things, groceries and travel all the time. You just accept that as a common part of life. But with rent, that's never really been the case. With Built Rewards, you can get those reward points now just from paying the rent that you already pay, and it's free to join. You can get those valuable Built points on your rent and your everyday spending at no additional cost. You could use that on hotels and flights and even future rent payments. Over 500 airlines, 700,000 hotels. The possibilities are endless. And there's plenty of unique experiences available to Built members as well. You can start earning points on that rent that you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/lockedonnba. That is joinbuilt.com/lockedonnba. And you can join up and make sure you use our link so they know that we sent you. Don't wait and start earning rewards today. Today's episode is also brought to you by the Game Time app. Christmas is a time of year, which is right now, holiday season and giving gifts. And sometimes the gift of an experience is something that's great for somebody you don't know what to buy for. And Game Time can be that option. Buying tickets to events, whether that's you with a person or giving it to someone else, is a great way of giving them something that they might not treat themselves to. And Game Time Picks is the new feature on Game Time that enables you to get the most bang for your buck, get the value, filtering out the bad value tickets over on the Game Time app. You've got the views from your seat there as well, so whether it's you or somebody else that's going to the game, you can see what you're going to take in. You've got all of the guarantees available there as well, the lowest price guarantee, the event cancellation protection, the job loss protection, and of course Game Time Picks is there to show you the best valued option. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create the account and redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Okay, 3 games down. Let's get into the fourth game. It is the Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics. We got some injuries in this one, as we do in nearly all of these games. The Celtics are whopping 14.5-point favorites here. The Bulls play Thursday, Saturday, and then they play Monday, Thursday, Saturday. The Celtics also Thursday, Saturday, and they go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I listed Josh Giddey as doubtful in this game. They said it's not as severe as they thought it might be, or as the Olympic injury, so that's good news. So I don't think he plays here, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a long-term thing. Zach LaVine missed the last game. No update on him at this point. Dalen Terry also. And the good news is Kristaps Porzingis is officially listed questionable. Now, you might say the good news would be if he was off the injury report, and I agree with that. But Porzingis has not been ruled out. He has not been labelled as doubtful or anything like that, so it doesn't appear that it's a serious issue that caused him to leave the last game early. So there's a chance that Kristaps plays in this game. They could also just give it to him off and play him on Saturday. And Al Horford sat the last game, and there's no real reason that he's going to be on the injury report here. They did also add Sam Hauser and Xavier Tillman on there as questionable tag players. Tillman doesn't really play anyway, and Hauser's been getting some good minutes. So if he is out, that does really help fluff up some of the value of a Peyton Pritchard. Not that you really need that. And maybe you get a little bit of extra Jordan Walsh in there, but that's not going to be important for most people. For the Bulls, I would say overall, I don't know how most of you feel about this, I would say overall it's been a little bit of a disappointing season from Kobe White. The efficiency stuff has been an issue. The ball handling, not quite where it's been in previous seasons. So I just want to keep watching. I know there are people who have mentioned to me, man, I just want to drop this guy. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that at all. But that speaks to some of the level of frustration that's out there. On the Celtics side of things, Jaylen Brown at the moment can't hit free throws at all. So we want to see if he's able to get himself back into normal Jaylen Brown, because his recent production has not been particularly strong. I think Lonzo Ball's a really good stream guy for the Bulls. I am very interested to see what sort of minutes they give him here. They pushed him in the last game, and that was without Zach LaVine. We might have no LaVine and no Giddey in this one. So Ball and Dosunmu will have to do a lot more, and that will be something very interesting to watch. And I don't mind an ad of Ball just to see where we go. And then Al Horford, especially if Porzingis is out. Horford is the stream guy, but even if Porzingis plays, Al probably does enough to be considered streamable. But again, remember, it is a day where there are 13 games on. The Brooklyn Nets up against the Toronto Raptors is your next game to talk about. Two teams with some significant flaws. Clearly, the Raptors are 4-point favorites here. Brooklyn goes Thursday, Saturday into Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, whereas Toronto's a rare Thursday, Sunday team, and then they only play 3 games the week after, Monday, Thursday, Sunday. Cam Thomas is going to be out for the Nets. We know that one at least. Bojan Bogdanovic is out. Trendon Watford is out. And then I believe they've just ruled Zaire Williams out. Let's double check that one. Yeah, Zaire Williams is out. He's been dealing with this knee sprain, and yeah, he's going to be out for a little bit of time here. It looks like a little bit further of time. But on the Raptor side is where the interesting stuff is happening. Emmanuel Quickley is out. Jakob Poeltl is not going to play with his groin strain, but Scotty Barnes has been upgraded to questionable. I don't know whether Barnesy is going to play 100% here, but the fact that he is back and practicing and ahead of schedule is really good news for him and bad news for some of the other guys on the team. Also, don't know whether we're going to get Bruce Brown finally playing. There's been no real update on him at this stage, so we'll see where he is at, but that's going to have an impact on a bunch of different players on this squad. For the Nets, last game, Day'Ron Sharpe put up a really big performance. I don't really believe that that's something that's going to be able to hold, but I want to see what happens here with Claxton and Sharpe, and how much does Simmons and Claxton cross, and because they need Simmons so much, does that mean they have to push Claxton down? That is really important to watch. For the Raptors, Chris Boucher was able to put up big numbers last game. I doubt that he starts with Poeltl out. It will probably be Fernando, and then there's some Mobo in there, there's some Olynyk in there, but Boucher was really good getting a double-double last game, so keep an eye on that. I think Ben Simmons is the stream there for the Nets pretty clearly. I think he's an ad, to be honest, and I think Ochai Agbaji is probably the stream, but I could be talked into Olynyk. You could look at Boucher as well, and I don't think any of them are super, super clear in terms of the overall predictability of it. The next game is the Atlanta Hawks and the San Antonio Spurs. Actually just got an update on the Spurs as I am recording this part of it. The Spurs are actually 1-point favorites in this one, which is pretty wild to me. That's okay. The Hawks play Thursday, Saturday into Monday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday the week after. And San Antonio is also Thursday, Saturday into Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Kobe Buffkin, unfortunately for him, just 2 completely ruined seasons. He is out for the season with that shoulder issue, which he had in Summer League and then re-injured at the start of the season. He's out again, so that's really, really bad news for him. That means Vic Krejci, for those of you in deeper double Onyx leagues, is going to be the backup point guard, and Dyson Daniels with a little bit more ball handling. But really, really rough start to his career for Buffkin, and now that really casts a lot of doubt on where he's able to get to be honest. I thought Keldon Johnson would be out. He had a calf strain allegedly. He's missed like 2 games. Not an NBA team mishandling a soft tissue injury. I'm sure that's never happened before. But Keldon has been upgraded to probable, meaning he's probably going to play, which I don't really agree with. Zach Collins is, but I'm not there. I'm not in the room. Maybe it is, maybe all of the evidence of all the soft tissue injuries being forced back too early is a figment of my imagination, and he's okay and ready to go. Zach Collins is questionable. If Zach Collins does not play, then Goldfinger Charlie Bassey is the guy that you stream in deeper leagues for those block numbers. And then Trey Jones is available to play as well. He doesn't necessarily always... they say, he's actually officially probable, Trey Jones, but yeah, he's going to play. On the Hawks, Trae Young had been a bit disappointing at times this season, but over the last couple, he really had started to ramp it up. So we're just going to see the mentality change, where the usage sits. Does he pull back a little bit? That's important. And same with Jeremy Sohan. And with Sohan, he's looked great nearly every game this season. They started him over Steph Castle last game. What does that mean for Devin Vassell? Does Sohan continue to start? Was it a matchup thing? Let's pay attention to how they use him. In terms of streams for the Hawks, well, if DeAndre Hunter's there, you stream him. Otherwise, it's Zachary Ricochet, and that's really bottom of the barrel scraping stuff. And for the Spurs, Julian Champagny is available in a lot of different spots. So you can still stream him. Again, I do think that when we actually get 30 plus of Vassell and Sohan's playing, I don't think Champagny is going to maintain that value, but that's not happening now. So we just keep using Julian, and then at some point, I'm guessing it's going to drop off, I guess. The Golden State Warriors. Memphis Grizzlies is our next game to take a look at. The Grizzlies here are favored by 4 points. Both of these teams play Thursday, Saturday. The Warriors are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday next week. Memphis is Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Modi Muzi is dealing with a knee issue. We're going to put him as doubtful for this one, but it does appear almost certainly, not almost certainly, 100% that we are going to get Dennis Schroeder making his Golden State Warriors debut. I think that he will start for the Warriors. I don't think that he plays 34 minutes, but obviously, that is something important for us to watch. For the Grizzlies, G.G. Jackson and Vince Williams will remain out. On the Warriors, we're watching Schroeder and the associated impacts. What does it do for Buddy Hield and Brandon Pajemski? Kills Brandon Pajemski, by the way. Probably kills Hield. What does it do for Kuminga? How do the lineups look? How do they use that? What does Schroeder's minutes look like? That is all important to look at. And same with Zach Edey on the Grizzlies. First game back, he started the second half. Did they just put him into the starting lineup ahead of Brandon Clark? Is he a 25-minute guy? Is he pushed to 28? Does he go to 24? Is the Warriors a terrible matchup? Probably, but we want to see how they use Edey in this one. I think Looney is useful enough as a streamer, but you know what you're getting. It's some weird steals from a center and some rebounds, maybe the occasional 3 or 4 assist game, but the upside's really low there. And then Marcus Smart's been dropped in enough leagues. Yeah, rightfully so, he should be, but there is streaming ability still in old Marcus Smart because we know he's going to get those 25 to 26 minutes. He started the second half over Jalen Wells last time out, and yeah, he can be rough at times clearly, but there is some value in him still. We're going to come back. We're going to cover the rest of the games on Thursday. Before I do that, though, today's episode, it is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Get ready to tackle all of the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything that you need to place the live bets on the NFL, and it's all in one place. No more scrounging around to try and find those live updating stats on different platforms and different screens. In that spot where you place your live bets on FanDuel, it's all there, and you can get yourself $150 if you win your first $5 bet as well. So never miss a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and don't forget to gamble responsibly. Okay, we are 7 games down. Let's go on to the 8th game. It is the New Orleans Pelicans and the Houston Rockets. In terms of spreads in this one, the Rockets are 10-point favorites. Schedule-wise, the Pelicans, one of only 2 teams with 3 games left this week. They go Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. The Kings are the other one. And then they play only Thursday, Friday next week. So a very weird Pelicans schedule. The Rockets are a Thursday, Sunday team, which again is not a common combination. And then they're Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Ingram's going to be out. Zion's going to be out. Jose Alvarado's going to be out, I'm guessing. I don't know about Namur legend Jordan Hawkins. I'm putting him doubtful because that back injury doesn't sound particularly comfortable, but I just don't know with that yet. And Carlo Makovic, questionable. He's not going to play anyway. And Jeremiah Robinson-Earl dealing with an illness. I would think that he's closer to probable than questionable Robinson-Earl. On the Rockets side of things, Steven Adams had to leave the last game with an ankle injury. He did not practice, and I would say there's no chance that he plays. I've got him on the doubtful side of questionable. That means that Jacques Landau is going to be your deeper league backup double Onyx Diamond streamer level player if you're looking for somebody there. In terms of what we're watching, well, for the Pelicans, I know people do push back on me on my takes on Messi because they think he's doing plenty, and he is. He's doing enough to be a 12-team league guy. My point on that, and I'll be very clear on it, is that with all these guys out and the minutes he's getting, I wanted more. These are the sort of numbers I would have hoped from Messi when guys like Ingram and Zion were available. At the moment, he's doing it in the situation that's almost as good as it can be. And that's where I get my concern. He's fine. He is good, and you roster him when he's playing 30 minutes a night and you get a block and the shooting is fine and the rebounds are pretty strong. They're very good, actually. But all of this situation is tailored towards him at the moment. And I don't think it'll be that way as we move forward. That's when I say that, I want more out of him now. It's totally good. But these are the numbers that you would hope that he can do when the others return. And now I don't think that's going to be the case. That's what I'm talking about. In terms of the Rockets, it's been a really down period from Tari Eason. Do they go back to him, or are they just going to keep him down now at 19, 20 minutes and lean more back into Jabari Smith and the shooting ability there? Because honestly, if we keep getting this from Eason for the next 2 weeks, that's not a hold. Right? If he's a 20-minute-a-night player, it's not useful. It's got to be 25, and we need to watch it. In terms of the stream, guys, BJ Boston, it's hit or miss with Boston, of course. He might get a huge scoring game and shoot really well, or he might suck, and then that can be a real detriment to your team. Yeah, he's been getting some steals late. I'm not really going to rely upon that. It's really just about volume scoring for him while these players are out. And then for the Rockets, well, it's Dylan Brooks. You know it's always going to be Dylan Brooks. It's not going to be anyone else, really. He's available in spots. You stream him in if you need him. You drop him when you don't, and that's realistically the Dylan Brooks experience, which is so enjoyable. The next game up is the Clippers taking on the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of injury reports here for the Mavs. We'll talk about that in a sec. They are 6.5-point favorites here. The Clippers play Thursday, Saturday, and then just 2 games next week, Monday, Friday. Dallas is Thursday, Saturday this week, and they play 4 next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Kawhi Leonard is doing a little bit more work in practice. Maybe we get a New Year miracle and Kawhi returns. I don't know. I'm not having much faith in it, but we'll see. Terrence Mann is out. Derek Jones is out. Kobe Brown is out. Looks like he's going to be out a little bit of time with his back injury. Dante Exum is out, and Jaden Hardy is out. But then we've got a bunch of players for the Mavs who are questionable, including their 2 main stars, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Kyrie practiced. Luka did not. And that is a little bit of a concern. They're calling it a heel contusion for Luka. we'll see. They've got the Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's a really quite busy part of the schedule for Dallas, so we'll see what they do. But don't be shocked if one of Kyrie or Luka sits out. You've also got Najee Marshall, questionable with the illness that's been bothering him. He did practice, though. So did Maxi Kleber, who was dealing with a rib fracture. They both practiced. It was just Luka that didn't. So keep an eye on all of that. What are we watching for on the Clippers? It's all about, can Kevin Porter maintain value? Probably not. But we'll see if he's able to push himself into 12-team value. And then on the Mavs, realistically, yeah, there's the issue with Kyrie and Luka, but I want to see about the Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford minutes scenario. Is it 30-17? 17 of Gafford is absolutely not enough. But if we get that again here, then that would lean... Points league, you drop Gafford, don't worry about that. But in category leagues, I am holding, because if we get a 22 Gafford without Lively foul trouble, then I get more interested. But I don't know if we're going to get that. In terms of stream, guys, Chris Dunn is always going to be there with that steal, block, assist, threes combination. And then for the Mavs, I'm going to put Quentin Grimes there. Now, Najee Marshall probably is the stream option. I just don't know that he's going to play. But Grimes has the ability to start if one of Luka or Kyrie is out. And yes, Spencer Dinwiddie can be that player as well. So you could put him in that mix too. But again, it's a day where 13 games are on. I'm not sure you're going to actually have the roster capabilities to do it. The next game up is Indiana taking on the Phoenix Suns. The Suns are favored here by 6.5 points. The Pacers play Thursday, Sunday, and then Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday the week after. And Phoenix is a Thursday, Saturday team into Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Aaron Nesmith remains out, but Ben Shepherd has been upgraded to questionable with his oblique issue. Not that Shepard's going to play a huge role necessarily, but it does have an impact, I'm guessing, a little bit on Ben Mathurin and on the dildo Johnny Furphy, who's been getting his 10 minutes or so off the bench. It seems like Brad Beal is going to play. He did practice, and Budenholzer's giving it's all pretty good. It's going okay. He's dealing with knee soreness, so that's not ideal, and that's different from calf injuries and ankle injuries. It does seem like he will play, but I don't know that. On the Pacers side, what am I watching? Well, I am watching Obert Toppin, who's been putting up really, really good games of late. I don't believe it for a second. How the impact with Thomas Bryant impacts him at all? Does that mean Toppin never plays at center? 17 minutes of Toppin we don't care about. 23 we get a little bit more interested in. For the Suns, I want to watch Kevin Durant because, again, Kevin Durant is awesome. He's the best player on the Suns still, probably. But he still has had a few weird sort of moments with weird percentages stuff or efficiency stuff or lack of steals or whatever it is. The numbers just haven't quite been as good from Durant this season, I think, as some may have expected. So we're just going to keep watching to see where he goes and how it all looks for him in this game. And then in terms of streaming options, Andy Nembhard is probably the guy. He had some nice assists last game. What I did love about that last one, and a lot of the ones recently, is that Halliburton is still doing his Halliburton things, and not the bad Halliburton, the good Halliburton things. And Nembhard doesn't really impact that as a general, which is a W there. Royce O'Neal is probably the stream in Phoenix. We're not excited about that, but if Beal is out, then a little bit more shine appears on Royce. Knicks Wolves, rematch, revenge games. Towns, Randall, DiVincenzo. It's all happening, I guess. The Wolves are 2.5-point favorites here. I said Wolves so funny. I said Woofs. No, the Wolves are so funny. The Knicks, funny? They're favorites. That's what I'm trying to say. Knicks Thursday, Saturday into Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. The Wolves are a Thursday, Saturday into Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Injury report, very, very small. Mitchie Robinson is out. Ariel Huckporty is questionable. Then he won't play anyway. And Jingling Joe Ingles, I'm going to put as doubtful. He won't play anyway either. So literally, it's just nothing that matters. They are basically full strength apart from Robinson. I want to watch Mikal Bridges. He doesn't get to the line ever anymore. The shooting is very up and down, even though the 2-point percentage is almost back to Phoenix numbers, but can't hit free throws, doesn't get to the line, and I always want to see some consistency. On the Wolves side of things, Julius Randle's last few games have been down. Is that going to be the trend now? Is he a 30-minute-a-night player? It's not really necessarily benefiting Naz Reid, who sucked in the last one, but what are they doing with that sort of lineup? How does Randle look against his former team? We'll see. In terms of streams, Precious Achiuwa is probably the guy I look to, maybe even Juice McBride there, but the minutes have dropped for Juice, which drops his usability. And then, of course, it's always Dawson there on the Wolves, Jaden McDaniels, who can have a big one, who can have a small one, but you're never going to rely upon it. You use him when the option's there, and when it's not, you don't. Easy, I think. Lakers Kings. This is a game where we've got a few interesting injury reports that I'm not really sure how to read into them. We're in Sacramento here, and the Kings are 4.5-point favorites. Lakers are a Thursday, Saturday team, and they go Monday, Wednesday, Saturday the week after. And Minnesota is Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. I actually said that there was only one other 3-game team this week, but I lied. The Minnesota is one of those. And then they play Thursday, Saturday the week after. Is that right? Is that right? Let me double check that. That Minnesota schedule is complete. Oh, well, it says Minnesota. That's right. Because it should say Sacramento. My bad. So it is right. It's not right for Minnesota. What am I talking about? This is the Kings. Sorry. Brain fart. The Kings play Thursday, Saturday, Sunday this week, and then they only have Thursday, Saturday next week. So like the Pelicans, they've got the 3 games left this week, and then only 2 games the week after. Jackson Hayes, Christian Wood, Jared Vanderbilt are all out for the Lakers. Jalen Hood-Schifino is questionable. He won't play, so don't worry about that one. Devin Carter remains out for Sacramento. But then we got Domantas Sabonis, an update on him missing practice. He had a hard fall in the last game. He tends to play through this, but he has had a couple of issues with his back this season. We keep an eye on that. The fact that he didn't practice is not a great sign. So that is something that is obviously going to be important. Now, if he is out, what do they do? Like Alex Len? I guess Isaac Jones would play a little bit more. It's their backup center situation is, some may say, horrible. Trey Lyles is likely to return. He's been dealing with a calf issue, so I guess they could start him. But would you start Trey Lyles as your starting center in the first game back from an injury against Anthony Davis? That could be absolutely disgusting. So I don't know. That's troubling. Keegan Murray also did not practice, but Trey Lyles did. So there is a chance here that both Murray and Sabonis are out. And if Murray and Sabonis are out, that means that Lyles has to fill both those spots, meaning you're going to get Jay Crowder. You're going to get Isaac Jones. And you're going to get Alex Len. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be really, really bad. Kevin Huerter also, didn't get any practice reports on him. I honestly don't think he plays, but I'm putting him as questionable here in this one. On the Lakers side of things, I'm done with D'Angelo Russell. I think he might bounce back at some point, but I don't think... How many times can this team hate this bloke and play him 17 minutes for me not to say, okay, I'm done. I am done now. I'm done. I know it could burn me. I tried to hold on, but I'm done with him. And then on Malik Monk, I know he's starting. I know the minutes are good. It's more about assist distribution between him, Fox, and DeRozan and Sabonis, because Monk is getting them at the moment. Whether he continues to, I don't know, but they are putting the ball in his hands a lot, which is an interesting development. In terms of streams, it's probably Max Christie who is getting the starting nod over, I can't believe he fell to pick 17 legend Dalton Connect, and over guys like Cam Reddish, who somehow is still in the league. Shout out to him being such a clutch performer. Keon Ellis is obviously the stream on the Kings, if you so have that room available to do that. But when we talk about the Kings, Huerter being out is going to mean Ellis does more. Murray and Sabonis probably don't impact him, and remember, their next 2 games are on high-volume days. Would you start Ellis in a game where Huerter and Murray sit on Thursday? You probably would. So, yeah, there is a little bit of value maybe in that. You probably would in that scenario. The last game of the day is the Denver Nuggets going to take on my mate Chauncey Billups and the Portland Trailblazers up there. In terms of the spread, the Nuggets are 8.5-point favorites. They play Thursday, Sunday into Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And the Blazers are a Thursday, Saturday into Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Vlatko Čančar is out for Denver. Dario Saric has missed the last few, but he's not a rotation player anyway, so he's questionable. And then Christian Brown missed the last game. If he is out, Russell Westbrook will take that spot most likely. Matisse Thybulle remains out for Portland. And do we finally get DeAndre Ayton, the snowman? Is he able to play through his illness? And we get to see the Klingon, Williams, Ayton triumvirate and how they're going to use him. I hope so, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Russell Westbrook is the guy to watch on the Nuggets. I think for points leagues, he's just a hold anyway. Category leagues, it probably does need Brown to be out, but he was very, very good in the last game. And then Donovan Clingan's the guy on the Blazers. What's the minutes? That's the thing. Because they were being very careful with him, and even still, they're not really pushing him all that far. We know he's one of those players who's going to have a very fantasy-friendly game throughout his career without being necessarily a super impactful real-life player, is my thought on Klingan. But if he's a 13-minute-a-night guy when Ayton and Williams play, that's not really going to cut it. We need to see how they do it. In terms of stream, guys, look, if Westbrook's available, you stream him on the Nuggets. Otherwise, it's Strowther probably. And then Shaedon Sharp's been dropped in enough spots that he's now eligible to be a streamer, and that's sort of where he should sit. I don't think he's a must-roster player. I think he's a streamable guy, and I think that's sort of where we go with that. Because it is such a weird day in terms of schedule, we're not going to talk about streams of the day because you're just not going to have that room to do it most likely. But what I do want to just quickly touch on is the chunky section. Back-to-backs, whatever. No one's playing. You're not streaming anyone on Thursday, so that doesn't matter, right? And then also 5s and 2s, which is I'd normally do at this point in the show as well. over the next 7 game days, there's one day with 0 games on, which is Christmas Day, of course, but nobody plays 5 games over the next 7 calendar days. In fact, over the next 8 calendar days, no one plays 5 games and no one plays 2 games. But what I thought was interesting for the chunky section, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that is the chunks of the next 5 days. Every single NBA team, all 30 NBA teams play 3 games on the dot over the next 5 games. I don't think I've ever seen that over the next 5 days. Between Thursday and Monday, every team plays 3 games. There are only 2 low-volume streamable days in the next 5 days, and no team plays on both of them. So, how you can take advantage of that? You can't. You really can't. You can't do anything to really stream in to get that bulk volume. It's more about, hey, did this guy really get a huge bump up because of an injury, and I would actually start him on the high-volume days, 13, 12, and 14? Would you do that? That's what you need to look at, because there's no chunk advantage. Every team has 3 games in 5 days, and no one plays on both of the low-volume days. So that's where we're at. And that's where I'm at for the end of this daily look-ahead preview show for the games on Thursday, 13 of them. We'll be back tomorrow with a mailbag show, a Friday preview, and a monster Thursday recap as well. And I think you know what to do in the interim. Have a good day. Reflect on your day. Don't bash yourself up. Look at what you did that was good. Tell someone in your life, hey, you know what? Thanks for doing that. You did a really good thing. You would be... I know that if you heard it, you love it. Someone else will love it as well. We just need more positivity. We need more positivity. Unless we're talking about Taylor Horton Tucker. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. That's a joke, Taylor. See ya.